days before I turned 18. So for me, it was the equivalent of my friends getting their first car when they turned 18. And prior to that, my parents used to drive me everywhere, which got really frustrating after a while. And my dad used to say, "Have scooter, we'll travel."
Love it.
And it is true. It gave me so much independence.
Oh, would absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially as an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And I started off because I turned 18 at the end of year 11. I would drive my scooter to school every second day and then drive it home every other day. So I left school for one night, and just while I was getting used to driving it. So yeah, it gave me a bit more independence then too.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. So, there. So, a few housekeeping rules. Please mute yourselves when someone else is talking. Please use a virtual hand if you wish to make a contribution. Please be civil and non-judgmental towards others. And most importantly, have fun. And so tonight I'm going to cover issues when traveling on trains, issues when traveling in taxis, issues when traveling in trams, issues when traveling on buses, and issues when flying. I haven't got much experience of flying or traveling on trams or buses, so I'll get others to contribute with that. So a major issue for me is drivers forgetting to get the ramp out so that people with disabilities can disembark the train. I had a driver once at Flinders Street Station, so I was at the end of the Sandringham line, and he forgot to get me out and said that he came back and said, "Oh, the next driver will get you out," and and then he started walking away again and yelled over his shoulder, "No offense," and I couldn't do anything. So yeah, that was quite distressing. And another big one is abusive and rude passengers. So I had a passenger who got off the train at the same time as me. He overtook me. He was on foot and I was on my scooter. He overtook me and I sped up and overtook him again. And he threw water over me, which is total assault.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Can they actually, would they have CCTV footage of things? Yeah.
Maybe.
Because that's a chargeable offence. It's assault.
Yeah.
And as far as that guy leaving you at the end of the train, I would have reported that too, because that's just not on. That's disgraceful.
Yeah.
Are these people getting any kind of training?
I don't know. I really don't know. So, yeah. And another big one, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but cyclists aren't supposed to be using the first door of the first carriage of the train.
Ah.
Because that's where for wheelchair and scooter spots. Yeah. And frequently cyclists use those spots and refuse to move for me and for other wheelchair and scooter users.
They need to check their privilege.
Yeah. I just wish sometimes sometimes the drivers are on my side and tell them to move, and they do reluctantly. But I just wish there were PSOs on the train so that they could enforce the rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there are signs on the platform saying no bikes on the first door of the first carriage.
Yeah.
But people don't look down, and so they don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And there's not that many PSOs, is there? It's not like they're on every train.
no. I had a cyclist once who, when I tried to ask him to move, he started swearing at me and called me a slut.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, that was really bad. And but the last issue is also passengers rushing when I get to Flinders Street Station at the end of the line. I'm waiting to get off, and passengers are rushing to get on the train before I've got off.
I hate that.
Yeah,
that
so
is so annoying. But
yeah.
for you, it must be even more annoying.
Yeah. Because
So
like my scooter takes up most of the doorway.
So you've got everyone's bum in your face.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll escape from from now for a minute. Does anyone have any other contributions to make?
Not with the train one. Well, I did have a pretty hard experience with the trains in Vietnam because they don't actually have steps up to them, and they don't stop at a platform.
Yeah.
So you actually have to physically climb with all your luggage to get on them.
Yeah.
So I just think, we complain about here, which is really hard, and then you go somewhere like that, you got no hope.
Yeah.
No hope. But I think we're a civilized country. We should be doing something to stop this from happening, like from you being left alone. But the other behaviour, I don't know how they would deal with that.
No.
No. Yeah. Sarah, do you use public transport?
Not if I can help it.
See, while I've got all these issues, I prefer using it because I don't know, Sarah and Carolyn and Mo, that there's a wheelchair and scooter travel pass that Mikey travel pass, which allows people with scooters and wheelchairs to travel for free on public transport.
And amazing.
And that's not just trains, but it's trams and buses as well.
Oh, that's good if you can get on them.
If you can get on them, which I can't. But it means I don't have to touch on or touch off my my Mikey.
Oh, that's great.
It's just free anyway. So
yeah.
Because that's one of the difficulties with getting on them, is you've got to get to the Mikey machine and have it work, and all while you're trying to get on without falling.
Well, this is it. I really struggle with them. I get all stressed and I'm like, oh my God, how do I do it? And then I'll look down and I'll have my Medicare card and I'm trying to swipe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of in-between space that just isn't covered.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I go to the next issue? Which is hang on. Issues when traveling in taxis. So again, I've had abusive drivers. A taxi once, I was coming up to the taxi and the taxi driver didn't realize that prior to seeing me that I had crutches. I wasn't using my scooter this particular day, and he refused to take me. And again, I was called a slut and a bitch.
Ah, by a taxi driver.
Yeah.
Wow.
You need to start walking around with a secret, like a dash cam attached to your scooter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I had another taxi driver didn't want to take me. I was in my wheelchair this time. He didn't want to take me and as well as another passenger who was also in a wheelchair, and we were going to the same place back to the Alfred Hospital after an appointment. And in the end, and he was trying to charge us double what we should have paid.
So a fare each.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
But
husband and
either-
wife don't get charged a fare each.
What's that?
Like if I went out with my daughter in a taxi, we wouldn't get charged a fare each.
No. And this was even like he was trying to charge $40 and I only had a $20 cab charge voucher.
Yes.
In the end, I threatened to report him to his manager, so he had to drive us both.
I think that's what you're going to have to do. And as soon as you get in a taxi, take a photo of the taxi ID.
Yeah.
So that you've always got that, because this is just this disgusting behaviour.
Yeah.
And Annabel was actually telling me the other day about a taxi that dropped her off one day
Yeah.
and ran over her foot.
Yeah. I was getting out of the taxi and the taxi driver did not wait for me to close the door and move away from his taxi. Instead, he reversed over my foot and caused me to fall to the ground. And I sustained a lot of injuries to my foot. And the only thing the taxi company would do was provide him with more training, whatever that meant, and 6 cab charge vouchers to the value of $5 each. So that was $30 in compensation when my doctor's bill was over $100.
Not even just a general $30. It's $30 you have to use at the same place.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like after all your confidence is gone, you can't just pick another company.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was
Well,
so-
I think these taxi drivers should be trained. They've got to
Yeah.
have some kind of training. When they get their taxi license, it should be mandatory that they have training
yeah.
on, the different people they're going to come across and how to deal with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've just recently got my what's it called? The taxi 50% off thing.
Taxi card.
did you?
The
Yeah.
MPTP taxi card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of nervous to use it.
Why?
And now you're going to be more nervous. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, last time I used a taxi, they didn't wait for me to get my things out of the boot,
oh no.
which included my phone,
Oh no.
Oh,
which turned out to be good because I was able to just use my computer and track where they went.
oh.
Yeah.
Well, don't have anything in the boot and take a photo also. I got into that habit in Vietnam. Every time I would get into a cab over there, I'd always take a photo of the driver ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, except for the night that I stupidly got in a plane car with some random man and I just said, take me to the nearest hotel, and thank goodness he did. Because it didn't turn out to be a taxi driver at all.
Oh no.
I know. Had no meter, nothing.
Yeah.
Was he surprised that you got in?
Probably. And I was like, because it was after a 9-hour flight and like hours before delay before taking off. And I think we got in there at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Everything was closed and I was just delirious and anxious. So I got in this car with a random man, which is the most stupidest thing to do. It's just as well I'm old and fat. Otherwise, something terrible could have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't do that either.
No.
No.
And another story, this is from years ago. I was away with my mum and dad and my sister and I, and we're getting in a taxi to go back to the airport, I think it was, and to go somewhere. And the taxi driver started driving off before my sister was completely in the taxi. And she didn't have the door closed.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
And I touched on this before, but when I've been refused, the taxi driver has refused to take me somewhere. Well, I've also heard of people with guide dogs being refused service as well.
Really? That
Yeah.
surprises me.
Well, because of the dogs, the guide dog.
They're worried they'll shed.
What's that?
Are they worried they'll leave fur in the car?
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It usually happens. I met a lady when we were on the Frankston Beach Patrol event. Then she told us like the taxi driver refused to take her because of the guide dog, and it has happened to her a lot of times.
Yeah.
Even if they mention on the start like we have a guide dog with us, still they come and they refuse. Why they do this? Because when they come there, like they usually accept a ride. When they come there, they charge the money, and when arriving at the main location, they will just say, "Oh no, we can't take you. You have a guide dog." But it was mentioned before. But they usually get paid because they
Yeah.
accept the ride, so
Ah,
they then just run off.
that's probably why I had so many taxis running off on me in Adelaide.
Yeah.
We had, well, actually it was Ubers. We had 4 Ubers over 2 days turn up and then drive off.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wow.
Wow.
Because it was a short ride too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what
I've
they
had-
use, sorry.
I've had fares being refused to me because they're short rides.
It shouldn't matter.
No.
And what they usually say to the company, whenever they go to that location, they will say, "I couldn't find the passenger there, so I just took off." So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they still get paid.
yeah, they get paid. They just need to make an excuse like, we couldn't find the passenger. I don't think so. He or she or anyone was standing up there. I tried to like go around. I tried
Yeah.
for 5 to 10 minutes, but no. But
That's- yeah.
it's not the reality.
Well, maybe they saw my walker and decided, no, I can't be bothered opening the boot for it. So took off.
Yeah, within the city, if you see any of the taxi or Uber driver, they usually stop within the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Just give the indicator and stay in the middle of the road. No road rule signs, nothing else, and they don't even come out if they see someone like either using a walker or a wheelchair. They don't come out. It's not COVID time now. They can come out.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
what can we do? How can we?
Well, it starts from the initial stage. What happens usually in the Uber driver, whenever they register for it, everything is online. There is no physical test or something. Everything is online. They get a lot of chances to pass on the exam, or even they just get it directly. There
Yeah.
is no something like proper in face to face, either it's online or offline, there is nothing like that. It's just like they're responding to a robot. They're just clicking
Ah,
and they will get the license and they can just ride.
Yeah.
oh, pretty scary.
Yeah, that's why I hate Uber and taxi driver whenever I go to city. They usually do, if they're just in front of me, just within a second, they will just give the indicator and stop in the middle of the road. And I'm like, what? What should I do now? There is only one lane. Where should I go now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, well, this is why they were also stopping on the other side of the road in Adelaide,
Yeah.
because they knew that we couldn't get across with all the traffic and then just sit there and watch us and then drive off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Grocer.
that's disgraceful.
Yeah. And I've actually had maxi taxi drivers, because I've had to wait like up to 2 hours for a maxi taxi when I've needed one. When
Yeah.
I've had a scooter with me. And I've had to wait up to 2 hours. And eventually when the maxi taxis turned up and they're loading me on, they're like, oh, I had to take a fare to the airport. A large group of people to the airport.
So that
And
takes priority.
That takes priority over people with disabilities who really need it. Yeah.
So sometimes I just have no words.
Yeah.
Why does it take priority? Like, surely they get the same fare.
No,
Yeah.
more money to go to the airport than it is to go from, say, Brighton to the city.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm. So they'll choose the bigger fare.
Yep.
And with the
guess they
taxi, what
also know that
happens?
you'll still be there later.
Yeah, but with the taxi, what happens at the airport? They need to be stand in the queue. So they are just worried about like, what if their number doesn't come up in the queue? They just need to wait for their 1 or 2 hours. Mostly of the time they on the airport, they will just like, no, we are not going to airport because if we are coming back, then there is no passenger. We need to wait in the queue for the passenger, and that's just happens.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. Greed.
Yeah.
That's all it is greed.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I have noticed one more thing. Just even with us, like if I am in city or somewhere here, the taxi driver won't come out to help me with the luggage.
Yeah.
They will just while sitting in the car, they will just open the boot and they will just say, oh, put your luggage in, and they just sit in.
They're so lazy sometimes.
Oh, they're shocking.
Yeah. Mind you, I have had some really nice taxi drivers who are really helpful,
Yeah.
who will open the door for me and help me get in. And
Well, my support worker met a guy yesterday when she was walking my dogs, and he happened to be a maxi cab driver.
yeah.
And apparently he was absolutely lovely. And he gave Dylan his phone number. So I said I'd pass it on.
Yeah.
But I don't know where he works from or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
mean, you do get the nice ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, I understand everybody needs to make money, but
Yeah.
not at the risk of somebody with a disability getting hurt.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
just not being able to get home.
Well, this putting them at risk. You know, it's like Annabel finishes singing at 11 o'clock at night in the city, but
No.
has to wait 2 hours. No, this is an example.
Oh, yeah.
Then you would, might have to stand there or sit in the scooter for 2 hours. Anything could happen.
Exactly. I actually I had that exact thing happen just before Christmas. I was doing a choir performance in the city, and there were no trains home from the on the Sandringham line from Flinders between South Yarra and Sandringham.
Yeah.
I was at South Yarra, so I got to South Yarra and had to wait a couple of hours for the maxi taxi to turn up. I was on my scooter. And the poor customer service guy at South Yarra Station kept coming and checking on me because
Oh,
the maxi taxi was taking so long to come.
oh, bless him. What a nice person.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy.
And I was really concerned that I'd still be sitting there when he had to go off his shift, when he finished his shift.
I would be too.
But I was lucky the taxi came before he finished his shift, which is good.
Did you pre-book that?
No, because I had no idea what time I was going to finish in the city.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll move along to the next
Yep.
one.
So I don't use trams or buses very often, and I don't find them to be wheelchair accessible or wheelchair or scooter friendly. So does anyone want to share their experiences of tram or bus travel?
I don't really have any experiences on tram or buses because I avoid them.
Yeah.
I have had experiences with them, but it tends to be that the driver will start very suddenly when you get on, and if you don't have good balance, you're kind of thrown around and trying to figure out how to tap in.
Yes, true. That is so true. Like, just wait until we sit down. But oh no, we've got to get to the next stop. But that's where I get all anxious.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to keep your balance if you're kind of starting out kind of my mum uses a power chair.
Yeah.
And I'm desperately trying to walk everywhere to kind of use it or lose it with my legs.
Yeah.
But my balance is terrible, and I cannot stay upright on a tram or a bus.
Yeah. I've had issues. I went on a tram. I've been on a tram once with my parents, and that was when we were in the city to go to a Leonard Cohen concert shortly before he died. And so it was like 11 years ago or something like that. And we parked in the tennis center car park and then got a tram into the city for dinner and then a tram back to the tennis center to watch the concert. And on the tram, I had to ask someone to give me their seat. Because
doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me.
They weren't using their eyes and didn't notice that I was on crutches and couldn't keep my balance.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, with the trams, the new trams are pretty good, but still there are some old trams which have stairs.
Yeah.
So you need to climb
the
that.
green ones.
Yeah, and that's a really not a good experience because when someone steps in, like there are one way to in, one way to go out, and people usually get confused where to go. Which one is the in way and then way out?
Yeah.
And whenever we figure out, then we will see, oh, where do I need to tap it?
Is there an in and an out on a tram?
Yeah, it doesn't say like this is the way to in, this is the, but the people have just like a common sense to like the right one is to way out and the left one is lane, but still people struggles. And the another thing with the trams is like either it's a city or in the suburb, when you step out of tram, then there is a crossing, but there is no lights up there. That's just a crossing. And that's the shared zone among bicycle, cars. I'm not sure what else.
And pedestrians.
Yeah, and then you need to stay there and wait for like maybe a couple of minutes and then you can walk out.
Yeah.
Because yeah, in the suburb there is usually not like 40 zone. It's like 60, 80, and someone will
Yeah.
just, yeah,
Yeah.
go over you.
Mm.
Yeah.
And with the buses, I will not recommend anyone to go with the wheelchair in there, because the bus drivers, when they turn, that is going to be a hard time for the passenger.
Oh, it'd just tip.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Mm.
when I've been stranded in the city or something and the trains haven't been running, metro trains have to pay for a taxi for me,
Oh,
pay the
yeah.
taxi fare for me, and because I can't use the buses.
No.
And sometimes some drivers are reluctant to, some taxi drivers, they get there, realize I'm on a scooter, and don't want to take me. Even though they're being paid by Metro.
Yeah. Even if you compare the trams
Yeah.
or the buses, the buses drops down a bit, but still there is a gap between the standing platform and the buses. That
Yeah.
can be like a hand, or they still need to have a ramp in there. The bus driver needs to step out, or the tram driver still needs to step out and put a ramp on the place.
Mm.
Yeah.
There is nothing. What if the wheelchair wheels get stuck in between and the bus driver doesn't notice it?
Exactly.
Oh. All right. Stick to cars, please.
or trains, even though trains have all
Yeah.
their faults. It's
Yeah. Oh, your
It's like-
support worker. Does your support worker take you out much?
Yeah, but the thing is, I prefer taking trains because even despite all the issues I talked about,
Yeah,
because as I said before, train travel is free for me,
that's true. Yeah.
whereas
Mm.
I have to pay my support worker.
Yes.
I have
true.
to pay her kilometers and the time that she's driving.
Yes. And that adds up.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
All right. When we go on to
yeah.
the
I'm almost
next.
finished. Issues when traveling by air. I don't have any experience. Like I've flown places, but mainly with my family.
Yeah.
So I haven't really, and it's generally been pretty good. We generally travel Qantas. And
Mm.
they're not too bad.
Yeah.
We've been upgraded to business class and stuff before.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
should try that.
I think that was because my dad was a member of the Qantas Club.
Of course.
So
Yes.
I don't think that'd happen now because he's no
Yeah.
longer with us.
Not
Yeah.
sure. My mum got upgraded to business a long while back. When was that? Maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Just because she had her mobility scooter,
Yeah.
Oh.
and
Ah,
there was no membership or anything involved there. It was just, I think,
Yeah.
an easy way for them to provide the extra support.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. And if they have an empty seat, why not?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, my experience with air travel isn't much fun.
Yeah.
With Jetstar, I always book assistance needed,
Yeah.
which means they are like, for an instance, where did I go? Darwin. They took my walker away and that had to go in the cabin, not the cabin, the luggage
The
underneath.
hole. The hole.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so how do I get to the boarding gate now? Because you forgot to get me a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we'll get the cart to come around. You go and sit over there and wait, and we'll get the cart to come and pick you up. Well, I went back 10 minutes later. Oh, no, don't worry, it's still coming. And then 5 minutes before boarding closed, I'm hearing my name. And then I went back up to the desk. Oh, shit, we forgot about you.
Oh,
So then they had to get this girl that just started that day to
Yeah.
run with me with the wheelchair. I still had to go through security and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
then run all the way to the boarding gate. They're still calling my name, and passengers are going, oh, so you're the one that held the plane up. Like, well,
Oh,
no,
that's-
not really. It was them. They forgot me.
Yeah.
And then Adelaide, when I got to Adelaide, to come Adelaide, Melbourne, and support was organised. Oh, no, sorry, we can't get you a wheelchair in Melbourne because it's too windy.
huh?
Falling. Huh?
And I'm like, it's too windy to push me through a terminal.
The
Yeah,
terminal
sorry.
inside, for God's sake.
Yeah, Melbourne, sorry, Melbourne's told us no wheelchair assistance today. That's it. I'm case closed.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to walk to the boarding gate because they wouldn't help me.
Yeah.
Got to boarding gate, they decided to weigh everything on me because I was staff travel, 200 grams over.
Oh.
So they weren't going to let me on. So I had to undo my case and start putting layers of clothes on. And then the air steward from the couple of days before comes out and recognised me, goes, you're here again. I went, yeah, I'm having a hard time. They're not letting me on. Goes, just come with me. We'll go out for dinner later or something. You'll owe me dinner. So then he puts me in my seat right down the back. And then a couple of minutes later, he comes up and he goes, nope, I've got you the perfect seat. So he moved me down the front.
Yeah.
And totally looked after me then. The cabin staff
Oh,
are fine. It's
Yeah.
the ground staff. So when I got to Melbourne, this guy had organised a chair to be waiting for me.
Yeah.
oh, nice. So much in life just depends on individuals.
It
Yeah.
does. It does. Absolutely. And then another time they wouldn't let me go take my medical equipment without paying extra luggage. I'm like, no, medical equipment's free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to stand there and have an argument with this girl in Darwin and bring up all the policies and stuff with Jetstar and show her, look, you're wrong.
Well, you know what happened to my family and I? We're going to Uluru in June,
Oh,
And-
nice.
and so it's my mum, my two sisters, one of my nieces, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And they accidentally put my dad's name on one of the tickets.
Huh?
My dad has been dead since August last year.
What?
Yeah. And they had his name on one of the tickets.
Hang on, was your dad, did he work for Qantas or he was just a Qantas club?
He was just a Qantas Club member. He didn't work for Qantas.
That's bizarre.
And Mum had to pay an extra $200 for them to change the ticket, my dad's ticket, to my name. Because they didn't have me on the flight. They had my dad on the flight instead of me.
How? Who booked it?
My mum. But they had my dad on the flight instead of,
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
yeah. And my mum had to pay like $200 to get them to change it. I tell you, money rules everything.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
little bit here, a little bit there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Can
Yeah.
you just excuse me for 1 minute? I just have to run to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh,
You all right, Carolyn?
except I forgot I can't run.
Oh no. Oh no. got someone to help you?
No. Oh, I'll be okay. I'll be back.
Okay. Oh no.
Wow.
She had a big time at the Tulip Kabloom Festival last week.
Oh yeah, I heard something about that.
And she's now struggling to walk this week.
I hadn't connected the two things, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because she did a lot
Yes.
of walking at the Kabloom Festival.
Yeah, this weekend we were going to go to the what's it called, the Pride Center.
Oh yeah, and she had to cancel it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty much all of my presentation.
I've got one more thing about the flights,
Yeah.
which is getting through security with bilateral knee replacements, which my partner has.
Yeah.
And you know how you go through their big metal detector thing, and
Yeah.
your luggage kind of normally goes beside you.
Yeah.
On a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Well, the luggage ends up piled up while they take you aside to do the individual scan because you set off the metal detector.
Yeah.
And you just have to trust that no one walking past is going to grab it.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there on the luggage belt for half an hour while they go through all their process for scanning an individual.
Yeah. I've had that, like, I've gone through the metal detector, and because I have to go through the metal detector with my crutches.
Yeah, and then it has to go off, and then they scan you.
So it has to scan. They have to scan me.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, can you stand up without your crutches?" And I'm like, no, I can't. Can you get me a chair, please?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, but we don't really want to, but we will if we have to. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're dreadfully underprepared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. Come here. Come on. Can you say hello?
Oh,
it-
hello.
Say hello.
Who's that?
Oh,
This is Rosie.
Hi, Rosie.
She's gone. She's 14 this month.
Well, I'm not going to even try and pick up my dog.
Oh, no, I shouldn't have done that. That was a bit silly.
I'm
Oh,
not
Wally's turn.
I'm not even going to try because she's too heavy and too big.
Mine are only 14 kilos. There you go. Say hello.
No, who's that?
Wally.
Wally. Hello, Wally.
He's the cat food stealer. Sarah, while I've got you,
yeah.
have you got any discussions you want to bring up? Like, do you want us to discuss on any issues?
Not that I can think of offhand.
No?
What have I been doing this week? My support worker has been really lovely about organising some appointments that I've been putting off for over a year.
Oh, brilliant. Yes, that's good. Yeah, no, I was just thinking for future meetups, if there was anything you want us in particular to discuss about social issues that affect us globally.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm doing another one in August about bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole rise of the alt-right has been kind of scary this year.
Yeah.
The what, sorry?
The alt-right, the Nazis and their ilk.
And the whole trans
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just been absolutely
I
horrendous.
wouldn't want to live in Florida at the moment.
No.
Sorry?
I wouldn't want to live in Florida at the moment.
No, 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 but that just affects us everywhere, doesn't it? It's, you know,
You worry
because
about the cascading effects.
absolutely, absolutely. And just having them, you know, at Parliament House, a few weeks ago, it's frightening. What's next?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really terrifying.
Yeah, trans rights, you know, just like everybody else, they've all got rights.
Yeah.
Like 1930s, was it? Germany. It was trans people and disabled people who were rounded up first because they thought no one would notice. And gypsies, yes.
As well.
And
And did
it was
you
like
know,
a test run to see could they get away with it.
but there's been trans people since like the 1300th century or something. Like,
Since forever, it's part of humanity.
exactly, you know, they used to always wear dresses and high heels and the men and it's just, wake up. It's the 22nd, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been following this trans lady in Ballarat.
Oh yeah.
And she's just absolutely lovely and just talks about the struggle in a rural town.
Yeah, that would be
That's-
hard.
Yeah, yeah, she's finding it really, really difficult, you know, being called a freak and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's just not on. So maybe we could have a discussion on that one night. What do you think, Mo?
Yeah, for sure.
Were you eating?
No, I was having water.
Oh,
Just having water, yeah.
yeah.
Got a bit of a
think-
drinking problem.
That's what my husband would always say to me when I spilt my coffee. Oh,
yeah.
such a drinking problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never find my mouth.
There's that all important photo of Rosa.
Oh, hello.
Aww.
Oh, God. Our dogs have a hard life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they do.
How's Sky?
Yeah, he's going good.
Yeah,
He's going to
Nice.
physio and hydro and everything. Yeah, he's going good.
he's
So
still going to, that'll be an ongoing thing.
minimum 1 year, and I'm not sure how long it can be. So
What
yeah,
happened to him? Why does he have to go to physio and hydro?
he was into accident with a car.
Oh,
I'm starting hydro next week. Maybe Sky and I could go together.
I also go to hydro. I'd love to have Sky come to hydro with me.
Oh, how much fun
Oh,
would that
Rosa.
be?
Yeah.
We can all do it together. Oh, gosh, a year of it. That's a long time.
Yeah.
I hope he's got insurance.
Sorry,
I hope he's got insurance.
Sky?
Yes.
yeah.
But insurance doesn't cover physio and hydro.
You need NDIS for puppies.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea. NDIS for puppies. Well, Rosie should get aged care because she's 14.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if I should
Sasha.
apply for it.
Sasha, my dog, should get aged care. She's 10.
Oh, well, there you
She's
go.
70.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Hello,
Oh.
Sky.
So this is the leg.
Oh, Sky, baby.
Oh.
He is
Yeah.
getting better. Like there are still a bit of muscles in the leg.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's going good so far.
Oh, he's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
He's beautiful nature. I met him last Friday.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
wow.
just beautiful. He was playing with a puppy and so gentle. It was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is too cute.
Yeah.
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 Well, I might see about an LGBTQ meetup then one night.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've also been turning my destruction into art because I'm always dropping things.
So that's something you've dropped.
Is
That's
it a
something
cup?
yeah, it's a cup that I've dropped and then photographed.
Uh,
Oh, that's amazing. How did you get it all to sit like that and do it?
The pieces just kind of sat into each other. I just found how they sat.
That's very artistic.
Yeah.
That's good. So is there anything else we want to chat about transport before we wind up?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
In
think we're
summary, transport sucks.
sorry.
In summary, transport sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
it does. And I don't know how we can change it.
No.
You know, apart from right to the taxi companies insisting and Uber insisting that they all have some kind of travel experience.
And
Like,
train.
do they even get lifting, handling training?
no.
No. What if they had somebody fall out of a wheelchair? Would they know what to do? No, they would drive off.
I'm just suspecting if they have a first aid kit in their car or not.
That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Mm. Do you know any taxi drivers, Mo?
So far I have used only once when I came to Australia, so no. But I will say they don't even know. First, the thing is if they have a first aid kit in there, and then the second thing is if they know how to use it or not.
Yeah.
Then there are different things. I'm not sure.
It's really got me thinking now. I might apply for a job as a taxi driver and see what happens.
Rather you than me.
Mm,
Well, you know, I'm only allowed to drive. Well, I've told myself I'm only allowed to drive around Melton, so I'm sure I'd be a great taxi driver. I'd be happy to do all the short trips.
I was just thinking how much difficulty you'd have with handling wheelchairs into the boot and stuff, because you can kind of struggle with walking a bit.
yeah, about wheelchair.
Like your abilities would say you should stay in the car, but your kindness would say you have to go and help.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know one more thing about wheelchair. I've seen a hybrid car, and they
Yeah.
don't have space to put a manual wheelchair in their boot because of I'm not sure what's in the boot.
Oh,
So, and mostly of the Uber and taxi, they have a hybrid car, and that's why I think that's why they are not able to take anyone who is on wheelchair, because they cannot put the wheelchair in their boot.
so what's going to happen when we all have to have hybrid? They're going to have to redesign them somehow, aren't they?
Yeah.
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 Like the Volkswagens used to have the bonnet at the bonnet. The front bonnet was actually the boot in
Yeah.
VWs.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
mostly of them are Toyota, and Toyota hybrid doesn't have
No.
that much space in their boot. So yeah.
Well, that's useful.
If you're going solo, you could use the other chair in the back, like
But
behind
they
the
won't.
front chair.
If they'd let
But
you
the
put
boot
chair
is
in the
bigger
back.
though. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to risk tearing the upholstery.
Yeah.
That would be their next thing, I would
Yeah.
say. Yeah. This has been a really interesting chat. I've enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's
Thanks for asking me to host.
oh,
No
thank you, Annabel, so much for hosting.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It was
You've done
good,
an
thank you.
amazing job, especially at short notice. So no, you've done really well. And I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the next one you do.
Yeah.
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 And we will next week.
No, it's not next week. I think it's
Next week.
next month.
August.
Yeah.
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 No,
All right.
I'm hosting in August.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking when we're back, when there's another one.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
All
then.
right. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you,
Thank
Annabelle,
you.
for
It's been
hosting.
lovely to see you
Yes,
all.
thank you. And all go and have a lovely long weekend. Well, for some.
Yeah.
It's a long weekend. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Anzac Day Tuesday, and a lot of people have got Monday off.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Not me.
Because I
No.
work just whenever
Yeah.
I can, I don't notice the long weekends.
No, me either, usually. I
For
only
me, it's
remembered
just
because
Sunday.
my physio reminded me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because yeah, she's going away. So, okay, I will talk to you all soon, and thank you so much again.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
been
Thank
great.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.